Yes, indeed, powerful people. This is another episode of Breaking the Machine. I'm your host, Ahmad the Poet, and alongside my partner, Spank the Bank.
What up?
And today we'll be taking another incremental step and shifting the culture. Today is a special episode, man. Really special episode. We got Chicago artist, activist, my brother, Goalden Chyld, in the studio with us today. How you doing, God?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, God.
Yes, man. It's beautiful to have you in the studio today, man. It's been a long time coming. I know we was chopping it up the other day, and we was talking about us going on live and really just building on live over the years, man. And the people, they love it because it's just that raw truth, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, man. I was on your Facebook, man, a couple months back, man, and I put your name in the search bar, and I'm going down and I'm looking at all the videos, all the years of the work that you didn't put in. I don't know what made me do that. I think I seen you post like a clip of an old video, and I was like, dang, he got stuff like, you was young, you was in the field with your brother and a couple other brothers.
Yes, sir.
And it was a hard song. I was like, man, when did this come out? And it's a lot of stuff that, a lot of people have never seen. So I went down the timeline. What do you think changed between then and now in terms of your expectations of what the music industry would be like? Because back then, I mean, you was coming just as hard as you are now, but you might not have had the same knowledge, the same understanding that you have now. Like, what's different about your mindset? Like, what would you tell yourself back then, like, to prepare for where you at now?
Really just keep grinding, man. Keep on working, keep on putting in, the necessary work. I kind of came into the game with a different mindset. I never really came in with the intentions to get signed because of the background that we came from. You understand what I'm saying? So when you understand and you do the research of who own these labels, who run the labels, where a majority of the money is coming from, where the majority of the money is going, you come to a realization really quick that, to be signed by these people is to be signed by the same people, that you fighting against, having the same mission that we got. So coming into it, I never really intended to get signed, right? And if I did sign with anybody, it would have to be somebody, that had a major amount of respect for the nation, the minister, and my overall purpose as it related to, uplifting my community, motivating my community, encouraging, inspiring our people, and ensuring that, we do all that we can for ours first, but also the oppressed people of the world. So it's just really been an uphill battle in terms of figuring out, how to make this thing work, without taking money out the hands of your enemy, to, fuel the career. So I would just tell myself to keep grinding the same way I'm grinding now, because I don't have it all figured out, but I'm getting somewhere, I'm getting closer. And, just trying different techniques, being able to have your ear to the street in terms of, how the industry work, being able to be in communication with people that are actually in the industry, whereas I could get that game without having to sign over, right? And just figuring out, man, like, it's ways, especially today, like, the industry has changed in the sense whereas more power is being put into the hands of the independent artists, right? So with that being the reality, I'm able to remain independent, stand 10 toes on what I believe, and now it's just a matter of figuring out, how to make this as lucrative as possible. Like, when you look at a lot of the music that's streamed regularly and excessively, it's the music, that taps into the emotional aspect of who we are as beings, right? A lot of times the music that talk about breakups, right? Or actually being in love, or how my homie crossed me, or how I thought I could trust you, but he backdoored me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of music that's streamed, and a lot of times, the music that go crazy is the artists that are honest enough and vulnerable enough to tell you about what the hell they feeling and what they dealing with, right? But what happens is, these white, rich executives, let me just be honest with you, they come and take our young black men and women and capitalize off of our trauma and off of our pain, right? You hear what I'm saying? Off of our hurt and off of all of the hell that we got to experience living in these projects and ghettos that they created and that they designed, right? When you don't know how to read, when you don't know how to write, when you don't properly know how to communicate, when you don't know your history, you are bound to live a life of hurt and pain. That's the reality. Especially when you're talking about a relationship. I know brothers right now, man, that got good hearts, but are in pain because every time they embark on getting into a relationship, it fails. It failed. and he a lover at heart. I'm able to talk to him and build with him, right? And he's looking for something. He's trying to fill a void because he didn't get something growing up. And a lot of times how he filled this void is from jumping to women. And I done had men cry to me, telling me like, man, I want this shit to work, right? Damn, man, like, why can't I have a family? Bro, I love what you doing, man. You and your wife, man, y'all motivate me, man. Y'all encourage me, man. I want that, right? But the painful aspect comes from trying to sustain this relationship, but not knowing how to tell her how you really feel. You see what I'm saying?
We just talked about that yesterday.
That's real, you feel me? Not knowing how to tell her, like, I tell my brothers all, tell her that hurt my feelings.
Woo!
We just talked about this literally.
Really?
Yeah, like this. I don't know what's going on. I think man. Men are now starting to speak up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, starting to say, man, that shit hurt. Because like I said, growing up, man, I'm from Detroit, so it's like growing up, man, the hottest dudes was the ones with the nicest cars, the hoodest niggas. And you know what I'm saying? You tell a girl, like, man, that hurt my feelings. A girl, so you cry, they look at you weak, you soft. And it's like, and that brings so much pain to you. You be like, bitch, I ain't, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
I ain't like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not soft, I'm not weak because I show emotions. So now, you turn into this monster.
Yeah, this monster.
That you trying to break. And you like, why I can't break this monster?
Because you can't just tell that man to say, that hurt my feelings without preparing to tell him that she may not respond the way that you expect her to respond. But listen, I think about my parents, man. And as a young man growing up with just your mother, you get one side oftentimes, right? Your mom told you what she experienced, and she don't got to be lying, right? But she telling you how she felt and how what your dad did to her negatively affected her. So you grow up being nurtured and reared on her pain, right? So you start to view and perceive your father a certain way. But as time goes on, you get older.
You understand daddy.
You understand pops a whole lot more, right?
I'm right there right now. I swear to God, I be like, it's conversation my dad used to have with me. He's like, man, he told me this. And I hear it, like, as I'm going in my relationship now, I hear it more. He was like, I got to tell her she beautiful and all that. But they won't tell me, I look good today. I'm beautiful. But I got to make sure you feel like that every day. You look, you.
Right.
And it's like, dang, Pop, I be wanting to feel like that too. Like, I want to wake up and be like, you look handsome today, you beautiful. Like,
man, one of the brothers told me the other day, man, he said, the man is the giver, she's the receiver. I said, damn, that's deep. It's the truth.
It is.
But it's very layered as well.
It's balanced, man.
Yeah, because we give it that statement, and it can turn into something crazy, man. Like somebody who just constantly giving, he not receiving anything, man. He not receiving that help me. He not receiving that affirmation. He not receiving none of that. And I think that's an issue, man. And like you said, we was talking about that. Man, we've been talking about that a lot lately. And I feel like it's just something in the air, man. It's something in the air. And it's just like real men just really just saying like, hey, man, this is how we feel. But what you said was powerful, man. One-sided perspective on the man. I see that all of us done worked in the inner city schools at one point in time. And I'm working in inner city schools and I'm seeing it with the young men. Sometimes they can have the most masculine fathers in the world, but they have this feminine energy to them because they hate that man. Because that man, the example, that strong man in their life is toxic in a way, or that strong man in their life didn't show them the right example. So now they associate strong men with hurting my mama. Strong men with destroying the neighbor. He destroyed my household. I hear my mama cry. So I don't want to be like him.
Right.
And it's just like when you put that example, you got to get it from both sides. You got to understand, because if you just hearing it from mama, like, hey, man, this is your father. Look at him. Yeah, I see how he is.
Yeah.
He's the worst man on the planet. I'm going to be nothing like him. Yeah. And that's deep, man.
Because we oftentimes in the hands of our mothers, majority of the time.
We all raised by mother.
Yes.
Man, it's so deep. It's so deep. I grew up with my father, you know what I'm saying? But I was telling my cousin, like, bro, my other two cousins, they fathers weren't in they, in their life as much. I'm like, bro, we was all raised by our mother. Why? Because my daddy was at work. The system had my daddy. So anywhere it go, the system gonna have him either in jail, working, or something. The system got him. So at the end of the day, I'm still with my mama.
Yes. And you could grow up in a two-parent home, right? And still not get what you need from your father, right?
Because he working.
Because he working.
Crazy.
It's not because he don't love you. He working. They gonna find a way to remove the father from a household in some way, form, or fashion. And if we really gonna have this conversation, we gotta go way, way back to the root. We can't talk about. Listen, toxic masculinity is an oxymoron. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
Yes.
If it's toxic, it's not masculinity.
The absence of it is. That's what Ray said.
Let's just be honest. If it's toxic, it's not masculinity. That's not what it is. It's not what it is in its original state, right? So when I think about
that's gonna go over a lot of people's head.
That's gonna go over a lot of people's head. I mean, because if it's not what it is in its original state, that's not what it is. God damn it! If we gonna be 100% honest with you, right? You are not who you were before you were tainted, right? You get what I'm saying? So I think about we got to go way back, man, way back in terms of buck breaking and destroying the man and removing the man's presence from the household. Okay, you talk about, listen, if you go study these cultures and our history prior to slavery, our women loved us. You know what I'm saying? They loved us, valued us, appreciated us, and were willing to follow us wherever we took them. That's the type of relationship we had with our woman, right? And the bond between male and female as it related to the family structure was so much so that it was damn near impenetrable. You know what I'm saying? And that was solely because of the example that the man had set and because of what the man knew of what it meant to be a man, right? So it's certain tools you need to be a man. And going back to these relationships, this young man wants love. He wants a family. It's in our nature to want and to desire these things. But when you embark on creating this family and establishing this relationship, but you don't know how to talk to your woman, right? You don't know how to tell her what you're not going to tolerate. You know what I'm saying? In a way that doesn't abuse her, but in a way that she understands that I can't try him in that way. And he's not a punk. He's not a hoe. He's not a coward. I just know I can't try him in that way. But it's love, though, and it's her love for you, right, that'll make her say, I'm not going to do that to him. And it's not because she afraid. If your relationship is established and built on fear, you don't have a relationship. You have a tyranny. You hear what I'm saying? You have tyranny. That's what you got, right? But when she say, I love him, I appreciate him, I value him, I respect his time, I know what it is he's trying to build and accomplish. I know that my feminine side, my loving side, right? The powers that I have in just being a woman, if I use those and pour into him, I'll get more out of him than I would by tearing him down. That's the reality. But I could teach a man how to be a man all day, but what's big in teaching and rearing our sons is teaching our sons how to properly pick your woman. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know yourself and love yourself and value yourself and know what you're worth as a man, you'll go out here and be as great as you was raised to be, intelligent as you was reared to be, respectful as you were reared to be. Go out here and choose the woman that takes full advantage of everything that you were raised to be. Disrespect everything you was raised to be. That's a reality and what we dealing with. So now you starting to question, damn, am I doing wrong? Right? By getting her door? By talking to her the way I was taught to talk to a woman? Am I doing wrong by providing? Am I doing wrong by being vulnerable? Because I'm doing what I was taught, but I'm not getting what I was taught that I was supposed to receive.
Yes.
And that don't necessarily mean that you doing wrong. Maybe she was scarred. Maybe she was torn. Maybe she was reared in a way that she doesn't know how to love and value and appreciate that. So we always taught as men in the Nation of Islam, you got to take full responsibility for the decision that you make in the woman that you choose. Full responsibility.
Even I heard Miles Monroe say that.
Yeah, even if she bogus, you still got to take responsibility because you made the choice and that was your choice to make. You know what especially when you talking about in marriage, we choosing our women now. It's not like, listen, most men not going to allow her get on her knee and choose us. We going to choose who the hell we want to marry and spend the rest of our life with. So that's a really pivotal and critical decision that you got to make. But being able to make that decision really comes from what your big brothers taught you, what your father taught you, what you got from your mother when you saw the way that your mother moved, right? And you're like, maybe you, I want my woman to be able to move and maneuver like that in a certain way. You hear what I'm saying? But a lot of our young black men and women ain't got these examples before them. And this is what's painful, man. I worked in Chicago public schools, And we was always taught, the father not in the household, this, that, and the third. We was reared in. But going into the school, man, and you damn near talking to each and every young black man, and I just wanted to know at a certain point, like, how your relationship with your father. I had to ask sometimes I had to ask in a way without being so direct and saying, is your father around? You hear what I'm saying? How your relationship with your father? And sometimes I would be able to be straightforward depending on the student I was talking to. And it's God is my witness, man. Most of our young black boys don't have fathers. That is an actual fact. That's an actual fact. And if their father is around, sometimes the father ain't locked up or in jail. He's just a bum, unfortunately, if I'm being honest with you.
Damn.
I mean, he living with his mother, right? With what he just went out here and had a baby, man, right? He wasn't even given the tools as it related to what he needed to rear another young black man, right? So either the father is dead, he in jail, or he out here just being non-productive, man, non-productive. Or, right, he not dead, he not in jail, he's around, he being productive, but he just don't got the tools he need to teach a man how to be a man, right? So I'll give you an example. You got I'm a prime example of this, man. But I'll say it in a way, not to throw anybody under the bus, right? But some children, man, sometimes it's a blessing not to be reared by your father while he's in a current state, if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I love my dad. I want my dad around. You hear what I'm saying? But because your father is so immature at this state, because he has no control over his emotions at this state, because he doesn't understand what it means to be a balanced man at this state. If you spend too much time in his hands as a young, gullible, impressionable young boy, he's going to deposit something into you or produce a reflection of himself that's not the best reflection. You get what I'm saying? So you start to mistreat women, right? Your temper is through the goddamn roof, right? You see he lazy, he's slacking, right? But this is my father, he's in my life. But you starting to deposit habits into your son. You around, but you depositing habits and traits and characteristics into your son that's not going to make him an upstanding man in society, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's like when I look at the overall condition of our communities, man, either like we was talking about a second ago, the father dead, the father in jail, and if he not in jail, he's not the greatest example. Right? So how do we go back to rearing our young men the way that they need to be reared? There are men in our community now, right? But I feel like even a lot of the men that know better are either afraid or selfish, man, in our community, right?
That's true. Or the women pushing them out.
Or pushing them out, something like that, right? Afraid, selfish, or being pushed out. But when you a soldier, man, when you a warrior, you are relentless about doing what needs to be done to ensure that our communities are decent places to live, right? So can't no woman push me out of my community. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody stop. You're going to have to kill me. That's the mindset. You're going to have to take my life and remove me from the earth to stop me from doing what it is that I need to do, right? And that's the mindset that we got to adopt, because when we adopt that mindset, sister, you may not agree, I understand, but you're not moving me. You hear me? You're not moving me, sister. When you got that mindset, you got young men who want to turn up. Like I'm in the schools, listen, these young 15, 14, 16-year-old boys, they carrying, they toting, and they got it on them. You hear what I'm saying? And they got tempers that's absolutely out of control. And they out here killing and murdering other young black men because they just don't understand. You know, like a little child, when they mad and goddamn it, they want some food, right? And it's a little baby and they don't know how to communicate and articulate how they feel. So they start throwing stuff around and throwing tantrums. That's what you got in these young men, 14, 15, 16, right? They done got big, their bodies done got bigger, you hear me? They done grew up, but they still think like children. They don't understand the value of life. They don't understand the purpose of life. They don't understand what they here for. They have never felt loved. All that they have to operate on are their basic primal emotions and senses. You hear what I'm saying? So you step on my shoe, you look at me wrong, you get on my nerves, I'm afraid. I feel like you might do something to me. I got to do something to you before you do something to me. They operating off very low-level animalistic instincts. There you go. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So, but with that being the case, some of the men who know what it means to be a man in the sense, you know, how you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself, how you provide for your family, have gotten afraid. Right? Man, I'd rather raise my family, take care of my boys, do my shit over here, get my money. I ain't risking my life for them little niggas over there. You know what I'm saying?
You can't be mad at them either, though.
You can't be mad at them for that. But if too many of us think like that, when does this shit change, man?
Exactly. And it really, that's come to my point. Like, why are we still in America?
You feel like we need to
we gotta go, bro.
Man, a nigga anywhere.
No, bro, no. They control everything in the narrative over here, bro.
Well, tell them to the African Americans who went over to Liberia the first time when we got freed, and then they started enslaving black people.
Well, we gotta figure out something, man. Cause
that slavement.
My bad.
No, that mindset is in our head. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you can go over there and start enslaving your own people and all these different things is in your system. No, location can't change that, man.
I don't know, man.
I know we think about that unplug mindset. Unplug from it all, you know, get in the window, put the phone down, all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, man, it's so deeply programmed into us. Hearing those sirens.
Relocating is not the answer, man. These white people are wickedly wise and strategic. You'll go over to Africa. If you don't have the knowledge of yourself, if you don't have a defense force and a military to defend what's yours, right? If you don't love yourself, you hear what I'm saying? And love yours. If you are not willing to fight, kill, and die to establish God's kingdom here on earth, you hear what I'm saying? If you don't believe in the Most High and His ability to carry us through, you don't stand a chance. I'm just being honest with you, man. The minister said, when you understand how wickedly wise these people are, you'll understand that we will not get through this without the help of the Most High.
No, you won't.
You won't get through this.
And that's why it was deep when you said that, because I had a conversation. I forgot who I was having a conversation with. They was like, man, it's over. And I said, if I didn't believe in God, I would say the same thing.
Our unity, this is the first step, in my opinion.
That is true.
Our unity, as the messenger taught, is more powerful than an atomic bomb. Let's scratch let's just clean surface. God damn it, you black, I'm black. You black, I'm black. We both being terrorized. We both being taken advantage of. They organized and they united. It's more of us than them, though. It's more of us than them.
It always been.
Always been. And listen, and I'm not just talking about blacks in America. I'm talking about what it means to be black. God damn it. That's not just blacks in America. The Indians are our family.
Yes.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they know that.
And they know that. The Hispanics, the Latino, whether you believe it or not or know enough about your history, they are our family.
Yes.
The Indians, they are our family, right?
They know that too, man. That's crazy.
But listen, starting small, right? On to hell with your religion, brother. Not saying to hell with your religion. Excuse me, I don't mean it like that. But you're a Christian, I'm a Muslim. Hey, we black. We family, right? Before they pull the trigger like we heard before, they don't ask you, brother, what is your religion? Oh, you're this? Okay, I'm going to give you a pass. What is your, you're this? Below you. They not asking that. You're black, brother. You're black. And they are afraid of you. And they have to, listen, they understand that as time goes on and as time progresses, because we are dominant and they are recessive, as time goes on, they're going to be removed from the earth. That's just the truth. And it doesn't have to be through violence. It's going to be through genetics, nature. That's just the reality.
Nature, baby.
So boom, if our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb, we should focus our efforts on solutions that result in us working as a collective. You hear what I'm saying? Working as a family, right? And I love you because we are family. If my brother said today, hey, I don't want to be a Muslim, I want to be a Christian, I'm going to love my brother because that's my family. You hear what I'm saying? If my mom say, hey, I'm sorry, you know, if one of your family members say, I'm sorry, man, you know, I think I like women now. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not going to stop loving my mom because she's made a sexual choice. You hear what I'm saying? So when we start to love each other because we family, then we'll fight for each other on the basis that we're family. We're family. You hear what I'm saying? And in my communications with, you or my brother or anybody that I'm dealing with. The reason that I'm able to build relationships is because I really love my people. Like, listen, you could say I love a lot of us today, we getting caught up in this, goddammit, social media, black love. It's cool to be part of the revolution. Blackity, black, black. You hear what I'm saying?
And I'm black, yo.
And I'm black, yo. And I'm blackity, black, and I'm black.
Yeah.
And we done figured out how to make some money off of pretending that we blackity, black and really like that.
That's killing us.
You feel me? But you not really out here, right? You ain't really shed no tears on the basis of you knowing what the hell is really going on out here. You ain't risk your life going into some of these communities where you could actually get pulled up on you just for stepping in the community. I remember driving through a specific community. I ain't gonna name no names because I don't even like to put communities over each other. We talk about this community because it done got popular and this, that, and the third. To hell with that, bro. Regardless of the fact that it's popular, bro, listen. The trenches is the trenches. We hurting. You feel what I'm saying? So boom. We came through, I come through with the guys, the FOI, and my heart, I'm loving, I pull up, but I'm out the window, bro, on the porch. I'm like, hey, brother, he thought I was about to, you feel me? He thought I was about to unload on him. He thought I was about to, you feel me? Up the blicky right in. That's what he thought. So he like, hey, man, he like, bro, damn, he thought it was about to be one of those. And he like, man, don't ever do that again, man. Don't ever do that again, right? Now, arrogantly, I could have said, you don't tell me what to do. In my mind, I could have said that.
Yes.
But we fear no God but Allah.
Yes, and when you got the guys behind you, you got that energy.
You charged up. And if I didn't have the guys behind me, because I went, I go to these same communities with 2 and 3.
Yes.
We fear no God but Allah. From Allah we come, and to Allah we must return. You hear what I'm saying? And our life is here. My life and my death is all for Allah. But I will only leave this earth when He calls me back, right? When He ready for me to go, then I'm going. That's not necessarily up to you, right? So that's a certain level of fearlessness that Islam really deposited in us as soldiers, right? So boom, I'm knowing in my mind, regardless of what He thought He was going to do, I was only leaving the earth when Allah said it was time for me to leave the earth. But out of respect and out of my understanding for the situation and the circumstance, I'm like, yes, sir, right? I'm yes, sir. And understanding what I could have potentially did to that man's heart, thinking it was that time, right? Now think about this. He said, God is real, man. He said, man, God is real. Some told me to leave a pole upstairs this morning, man. He said, because if you would have pulled up saying, yeah, like that, and I had it on me, I was just dumping. Not even thinking, because like, hey, I'm going to get you before you get me. But God is real, man. I left it upstairs and I ain't even have it on me, brother. Please don't do that again. That's what he's saying. Please don't do that again. You hear what I'm saying? Survival, right? And a lot of times, man, this brother's sitting down right now, not because they was on dirt necessarily, because they was out here praying and looking for somebody like a goddamn predator. God damn it, I had to kill him before he killed me. Before he smoked me, I had to up mine and get him.
I mean, that's the mindset we have in these communities.
That's the mind, because we live, it's not a zoo, it's not a jungle. It's a zoo. It's a zoo. It's not a jungle, it's a zoo.
Because the jungle is beautiful.
The jungle is, listen, most of the animals in the jungle, they run and operate and control the dimensions and the, and what's going on in the jungle, right? We come in there as guests, right? But they control the parameters of what go on in our community. The police, zookeepers. Aldermen, zookeepers. Judges, zookeepers. You hear what I'm saying? Zookeepers, man. Zookeepers, man.
That's the name of this episode.
That's the reality, zookeepers. And we think we in control. When you go to the zoo, they create the habitats for the animals to believe that they in their natural habitat, right? They set it up so that you can believe, damn, this is where I'm supposed to be. But whole time, it's a zookeeper that's controlling your environment, and you can only go as far as they let you go. You hear what I'm saying? And when if you would happen to break out the zoo, they either coming to get you, snatching you up, and making sure that shit don't ever happen again. You hear what I'm saying? So a lot of us think, no, this shit is a jungle, nigga. We run this, that. No, you don't. You don't run nothing, brother. And get out of line, they'll show you that you don't run nothing. You get what I'm saying? So when you talk about, this being this not a jungle. We not in control. We not running nothing. And if you feel like you in control, and if you feel like you running something, they doing a hell of a good job in creating that habitat to make you feel like you in control. You hear what I'm saying? They've done a hell of a good job. So it's like when you talk about creating something that's ours, right? That we control, that we dominate. Of course, like I said, first we gonna need God. Then we gonna have to unify, buy up the land, and trust and believe we gonna need a military that's willing to fight, die, and kill to defend what it is we fighting to establish. We need institutions. We need schools. We need hospitals. You feel me? We need our own judicial system. We need all of these things.
We need a nation.
A nation.
We need a country.
All of that. You hear me? We need them states. Run that.
Yes.
And if you think you're going to do this without no blood being spilled, I'm sorry to let you know.
No, it's got to be blood.
Hey, some blood going to have to be but once you start to understand what this thing called life is and what life and death really is, you're willing to give your life. You're willing to give it because it's, we hold on to it, but when you understand the value of your life and the value of death and the value of what you sacrificing, this thing called life would bring the future. You get what I'm saying? You're willing to let it go, right? We used to have old, I forget what culture or what tribe this was, but some of our people used to be getting ready to get their heads chopped off, right? And they smiling, right? By these white, conquerors.
Colonizers.
And they smiling like, hey. And we trying to figure out why you smiling. And I forget the story, man, but you just don't understand life and death, right? Before he get his head chopped off. Right? The meaning of life and the meaning of death. And he go. But it's a lot we got to learn. I know I'm just rambling, but hey, man.
No, man,
we got work to do, man.
I hear you. But my question is, what part of Chicago you from?
South side of Chicago, yeah.
Well, like neighborhood, because I got family over there, like 57 Carpenter and stuff like that. So what part of the South
side? So what was interesting what most people don't know is that I was actually born in Aurora, right? And I moved to Chicago at 6 years old. And Aurora is a suburb, like an hour outside of Chicago. So I moved to Chicago at 6 years old and, single mother, single parents at home and her just trying to, juggle all that she's trying to juggle raising 5 children on her own, and so it was never really like a certain neighborhood that I was from, when she got a little too hard in one neighborhood, bills got a little, too much to handle, we was place to place, neighborhood to neighborhood. So when I first moved to Chicago at 6 years old, and before 6, I was traveling back and forth because my father was doing music in Chicago, my whole life. So I was on 51st in Peoria, right? Lived there for a few years, went to Sherman Elementary, which was right up the street. Then after that, I went to, if I'm not mistaken, I went to 115th in St. Lawrence.
I heard of that.
Yep, I was over in Pullman Elementary School. Then after that, I think I went to 93rd in Wentworth, Princeton Park. Lived in Princeton Park for a little while. Then we went to 103rd. Like, we've been all over the city with it, pretty much. But I can't necessarily say I'm from no one neighborhood because my whole life I was in these neighborhoods, had friends in these neighborhoods, family in these neighborhoods, but I was always in the nation, So
so you was born in the nation?
Born in the nation, yeah.
Thank God, because Chicago is a lot of gangs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've been there one time. I've been there a lot of times, but one time I went, I couldn't go across the street because that was my homeboy's ops.
Crazy.
Like, wow.
Crazy. Yeah, for sure. It's really like that. I mean, the beauty of being in the nation was, like, how I grew up in the nation was different. So I was born in the nation, had the teachings, had the education in a sense, but having a single parent at home, your mother do all that she can, but goddamn it, you're going to get caught up in something, especially living in Chicago. You going outside, playing in the neighborhood, you out at the parks, you moving around. So it was where she did all she could to instill in us, what it is that we needed to be successful. But this world got hell of a pull. You feel me? I don't care, what religious background you come from. So it was so much so that, in these neighborhoods, I completely understand that if I didn't have a big brother, a real man, a mentor, a father figure, because my dad was always moving around. He wasn't necessarily there all the time. If I didn't have an FOI to snatch me up and literally remove me from a lot of these environments, the pressure was so heavy that I remember, being in the neighborhood, running around corners saying GDK, you feel me, claiming, whatever gang, was in the neighborhood that I was in, right? And you feel me? It was so much so where it's like, damn, if this what the neighborhood is repping, this damn near what you gotta rep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You say you something else, then the pressure gonna be applied, and that's where it was like, it was so much pressure when you young and when you gullible. You hear what I'm saying? And you're not intentional about standing on what you know is right. It's like, damn, whatever y'all say go is what it is. You feel me? You talking about big bros. You talking about, the leaders, the chiefs, this, that, and the third. So I had to be snatched because it wasn't like I made a conscious decision myself at a young age that I'm going to just do what's right. Hell no. I was on whatever the neighborhood was on. You hear what I'm saying? But I remember big brothers like Lyle and, Captain Dwayne and different brothers was like, because in the Nation of Islam, a lot of the big brothers in the Nation of Islam, most people don't know, like they came from that lifestyle. They was really living that, right?
Absolutely.
Man, long story short, but so when you able to sit down and have a conversations with the big bros that was chiefs and that was actually running stuff out here, it's like, and you do the comparative difference in terms of them telling you what they came from, what they experienced, what they dealt with, where they went wrong. You hear what I'm saying? And you able to see the men that they've become as a result of them making the decision to pull back. You able to put the clean glass next to the dirty glass and say, this shit really don't end well for you on this side. You hear what I'm saying? And you able to make that decision. So it was a combination of being snatched, cuffed, and shown, a comparative difference as to what'll happen if you take this route and what'll happen if you take this route over here. Yeah.
And what do you think is the difference in the? I see, because I don't want to harp on the violence in Chicago, because when I lived in Chicago, it was a nice place. It was the first place we ever got robbed, though, and and it was crazy. And I don't want to harp on that because it was beautiful, but it was some stuff that went on with it as well. I don't think I ever told the story publicly. When we got robbed, the night we got robbed, me and my brothers, my dad had asked us, were you wearing your FOI jackets? And I didn't understand why he was asking us why we was wearing the jackets, because he said, I can't tell the brothers what happened unless they knew that you was in the Nation. So my dad, when we went out, he would always tell us to wear these jackets. His jackets was super baggy, and they just didn't look good. So this was the only night we didn't wear them. Right. And that's the night we got robbed. Wow. So he asked us, were you wearing the jackets? And then we said no. So I didn't understand the protection of the Nation. I didn't understand, the respect that, the people in all over the world have for the Nation, and that security. So I think it's something to be said about Chicago, especially just what goes on in there. Like, what do you think makes it different than any other place? I don't want to say makes it more violent, but what do you think makes people just care less about, consequences and different things? Because I know you got a different perspective. You didn't probably, know a lot of different things that people from the outside don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the inside, you know what I'm saying? Even with artists, this artist is hot, and y'all know about this artist years before we even heard of him. Right, and y'all seen him moving,
Man, it's, and I don't even really like to compare the violence, you know what I'm saying? Because when you talk about living in the inner cities or the quote-unquote ghettos and the hoods all across America, when you do the comparative differences, much more similarities than there are differences, right? And if you want to just talk about staying in the city, what kind of frustrates me and what's painful at times is knowing that because of the way I was reared and because of the way that we move as soldiers in FOI, we can go to whatever hood we want to go to, right? And build with our brothers, engage in, a fruitful dialogue with our brothers and really have a, a bonding, type of relationship, right? But in our ability to be able to move around and go to each of these different neighborhoods, you start to see how much this neighborhood is just like this neighborhood. You hear what I'm saying? Or this neighborhood is just like this neighborhood. And, we try to act like it's so much of a difference, but single parented homes, mothers, having a hard time raising their children by themselves. You feel what I'm saying? Fathers not around. You feel me? Alcoholics, brothers strung out on drugs. You hear what I'm saying? When you go into a lot of these households, most people don't know, but goddamn it, a lot of these shits be looking like third world countries in these communities.
They are.
You feel what I'm saying? If you do the comparative difference, right? holes in the wall, toilets not working, trash all over the place, no furniture. Like, it just really completely torn down. And when I move around to these different neighborhoods, it's like, damn, you beefing with bro because he over there. And you beefing with bro because he up the street, or you beefing with bro because he rep this and rep that, or what his father did or what his father did. But we don't do when we look at, how much similarities we have. You hear what I'm saying? We really the same, bro. We really family. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's painful and it's frustrating because it's like, most times, like, you involved in a certain gang or you affiliated with this, like, you live your life in a boundary your entire life. Like, you really don't be moving outside your neighborhood. And if you are moving outside your neighborhood, you ski masked up, you sneaking, you this, that, and the third. And because that's the reality, you don't get the opportunity to go over there and see how much y'all just alike. You get what I'm saying? And how much we really relate on so many levels. So with that being the case, and me saying I don't want to compare the violence, that's really rooted in me knowing that in Chicago, goddammit, Detroit, Louisiana, Atlanta, it's a lot of the same shit going on, just with different dialects and a slightly different circumstances.
Different slang, different words.
Different slang. You feel what I'm saying? Different tones. Different little traditions we done created up in this, diabolical culture.
It's crazy how, there's no father foundation in none of these inner cities.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
And I mean, how can we grow as a community? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what I'm hearing from is no pops at home. I was fortunate to have a father, and I can see why I'm ahead in life. But it's too many black men that doesn't have a father. But my question is, really for both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? How did you know, like, being Muslims was the right religion? Like, how did you know to pick Allah over Jesus?
It really wasn't too much of a comparison growing up in the nation. It wasn't like one or the other. We knew that, God and Jesus was two different people. That's what we was taught. Especially when you look in scripture and it talks about how, the relationship that Jesus actually has with God, right? You hear what I'm saying? So when you're talking about God over Jesus, we respect and love Jesus as Muslims. You hear what I'm saying? And that's what most people don't know. We respect him and love him as a prophet and admire him for his works, but it was never God over Jesus because we knew that Jesus was a result of God. You hear what I'm saying? And that's how we was taught about God in comparison to Jesus. So it was never no discard Jesus. We don't believe in him. We don't this, that, and the third. We just never viewed Jesus as God, right? And based upon the way we was taught about Jesus, that's how we came to that understanding. But at a certain point in terms of Islam was chosen for me based upon the examples. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you could tell a person all day, this, that, and the third. This is the religion you need to choose. This is the way you need to live your life. But we was also taught that it was one God, right? We call him Allah. Some people call him Jehovah. Some people call him this, that, and the third.
Most High,
The Most High, right? But it's only one God, right? So with that being the case, I made my decision based upon the examples that were set before me, right? I had big brothers, you feel me? I had big sisters. We had student ministers. We had the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And when you see what these men were able to do and capable of doing through submitting their will to do the will of God, of Allah, that's what made it easier for me to make a decision and say, this is where I personally want to be, right? And in embarking on this journey, what I've learned is it's imperative and it's important for us not to get caught up in the differences in terms of religion.
Yeah, because I feel like that's one of the biggest problems in our community. Because me growing up, I ain't gonna lie, we didn't talk very good about y'all in the church, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we, Allah, we used to look down on it, but I didn't know until I really started being around Ahmad and start reading it. And like you said, when you look at the men work, y'all work show, like, I can't say these guys going to hell because they believe in Allah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's was things that I heard growing up, so that's just what my question was.
And I would say that's kind of how I felt as well. But my thing was I just took away the labels. And I just said, it's exactly what you said, because we had that conversation after the Courtney episode. We were having a conversation, and I was just telling him, man, I let the results speak for themselves, man. I said, if we take away all the labels, we take away all that stuff, they teach you how to eat, They teach you how to treat your woman. They teach you how to fight, how to protect yourself, how to protect your community, how to buy businesses. And it's so many different things, how to sharpen your mind. They teach you the art of reading and why it's important to read. They teach you the art of mating, all these different things, man. And this is, I didn't name anything about God per se, even though God is in all these things.
Right.
But everybody wants to get into that spiritual, the results speak for themselves, man. The nation makes great men and women. You know, they can turn a nigga into a god, man.
For sure.
And it's that simple. Like, you know, I don't get into the debates of this and that. No, man, the results speak for themselves, man. You could have somebody who's not in the nation but follow the principles to a T, and they'll be a good person. You know what I'm saying? You'll enjoy being around that person. You know, so that was what it was for me. Because obviously, we all get to a certain point where, you know what I'm saying, we outside of mama's reach. And it's like, hey, man, if I don't want to do this no more, I don't got to do it.
Right.
So what keeps you in it? My thing is it makes me a better person, you know, and it holds you accountable. Like we was talking before the cameras cut on, man. Then steel sharpen steel, man. You around them brothers, man. They sharpen you, man.
They own you.
They sharpen you and they make you a good person. I get comments all the time, people telling me this, giving me accolades and stuff. I am nothing without the nation. I know nothing without the nation. Anything that I say of any intelligence or anything that it may seem smart to anybody, I got it from the nation. I got it from the minister. I heard him say, wow, that's powerful, man. That's why people be saying, I'm like, man, ain't nobody like the minister. That's me personally. Sure. I hear all this, man, ain't nobody like the minister, man. I can listen to him for forever. I don't even want to say that. I can listen to him forever, man. You know, but yeah, man. So, you know, that was the thing for me, man, when it gets to that point in our lives where we have the choice. But I also wanted to talk about this new project you got dropping, Radical, man.
Sir.
Why did you come up with the name Radical, and what are you trying to, you know, portray? What are you trying to get over to the people with this new project?
So Radical, it's a really short but powerful project. You know, when you go to Whole Foods and, you know, they got the little power shots, right? You know, with the cayenne and the turmeric, elderberry. You know, it's a lot of powerful nutrients inside that little small container. And that's the project Radical. You know, if I had to summarize it. It's a whole lot that I put into one small, short, concise project. But I came up with Radical, you know, just because of the meaning of the word, right? And radical is who I've always been. You know, when I think radical, I think of an idea or a concept that goes against the status quo, right? Or goes against the norm, right? So when I think about, you know, what I represent, what I stand on, you know, and what I've been doing for years in this music industry, I've always seen myself as an artist that has decided to go against the norm and the status quo, right? You know, the money, the cars, the clothes, the traditional idea you get or what comes to mind when you think of a black rapper or a black artist, right? And what allowed me to stand 10 toes on that is you can get confused and lost in the glitz and glamour that come with what they promote on the media in terms of the lifestyle, you know, of a rapper or an artist, right? And because you see the money, you see the wealth, you see, you know, the women's attraction, you see the accolades, and you see all of the attention that this lifestyle get, in your mind, if you young, impressionable, gullible, and don't really have an adequate knowledge of yourself and how this enemy maneuver, you will look at that like that's the goddamn way. You hear what I'm saying? Especially coming from the trenches, right? That's success, right? Success. Not having nothing, right? Not growing up in impoverished communities, you hear what I'm saying? Being told that you wasn't nothing, being told you wasn't shit, right? Not being able to adequately read and write and, you know, be an upstanding man and woman in society. A lot of times success really means to us our ability to attain material acquisitions, right? Because when we attain these things, we get the money, we get the cars, we get the clothes, then we start to receive what we perceive as love, right?
That's all we searching for.
That's all we really want, man, if we being honest. We want love. We want to be appreciated. We want to be valued. We want to be made to feel like we somebody, right?
Our whole nation like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, of us black people, you feel me? I just feel like, just hearing you talking, this is like, why the fuck I'm still living in America?
That's heavy, hey. You hear me?
Because the next generation gonna feel the same thing.
For sure. But what we doing right here, though, this is why I get excited. This is why I hopped on the road and drove those 4 hours to come here, because I know that they say, where 2 or more are present gathered in my name, there too I am present. That's God speaking.
Right.
Right? And two brothers can get together, you know, to go do a hit. That's not gathered in God's name. You hear what I'm saying? Two brothers could get together, you know, to do something they ain't got no business doing.
I read your mind, brother. I've been fasting, brother.
That's not gathered in God's name. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
And listen, you got a whole bunch of people doing podcasts.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of people getting in front of the mics and talking and promoting and advertising their ideals and ideologies, but very seldomly, and it's getting better over time, but seldomly do you see not only 3 black men, but 3 young black men coming together discussing the topics that are being discussed on Breaking the Machine.
There's a lot of brothers out here really trying to building a nation and building land. I feel like we're getting there. You know, a little bit, probably from 100 years from now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it will happen. Yeah. Because that's one thing I like about the internet. It created that. It opened that.
Yeah.
And the thing about that timeline, sometimes we don't factor God into it. Yeah. God gonna speed this thing up, but you know, if you know. But I wanted to talk about, because that's deep, man. I was at study group one night, man. And study group is a beautiful thing, man. When you just really sitting back late night, got the coffee, the gods is in there, the sisters is in there. It's just something beautiful. It's something so godly about it. And I think this was FOI class actually, and then one of the lost files was sitting in there, and he was just asking the questions from the processing class, and he was just saying. It's something that he said, I know we got to go to war, but I'm scared to die. He asked me especially, he said, I'm scared to die. It's that part, that's the part that just keeps me from getting in the army, because I'm scared to die. I don't want to die. And I was just telling him, it's something about being next to your brothers, and something about also having a lot so close to you, as close as your jugular vein. That's what gives you that strength to constantly push through that fear. Because especially as a young brother, when you on these, you know what I'm saying, on these different details, and you in these hoods and you in these dangerous situations, what give me strength is the brother next to me. But ultimately, it's the God that we serve, the God that's backing all of us. But when you got your brother because it's important to see strong men as an example. It's important to see strong men be fearless. Even if you scared, stand strong. I tell brothers that all the time. Some posts you're not even qualified for. But I just need a body to stay here. Brother, can you just stand here and look strong, brother? Because the brother behind you is super qualified and he can take care of whatever you need. Right. But I just need you to stand. I need a body to stand here. And I feel like that's even with the war. Like, brother, look at the brother next to you. Look at the brother to your right. And it's especially important for these young brothers in the hoods, man. They don't know how to be strong because they ain't never saw a man be strong. I was raised by the FOI, man. Man, if the brother was scared, he ain't show me that. So I believe fearlessness is achievable. I've never seen my father scared ever in my life. So growing up, I believe that fearlessness is achievable because I saw the man never tell me, son, I'm scared. It's something about telling young men, I'm scared. Brother, that is for the men's circle. Leave that in the circle of the men. These boys, they need to see that example of that fearlessness, that example of that discipline. And it's so important, man. It's so important because that's a part. You know, they scared of that war, man. They scared of that war.
It's a scripture, man, that talks about being afraid to lose your life. And I was looking it up. You know, I wasn't ignoring you, but I'm trying to figure out the exact. But it says, it said, if you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it.
Yes.
But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. Right. So it's just about how you.
That in the Quran or the Bible?
Bible. That's the Bible. That is actually New Living Translation. That's Matthew 16:25. 16:25, right? And these are the scriptures, you know, that was instilled in us, you know, as young men, you know.
Damn, that's deep. My bad to cut you off. That goes for my people that take the vaccine. Look, that scripture says a lot right there, brother. That scripture says a lot right there, brother.
Come on now, you know.
Woo.
Hey, man.
Woo! That's a scripture.
That's heavy, you know. Matter of fact, let me read it one more time. Man.
That's a scripture right there, man.
And it was said in a much more eloquent way. I remember hearing, you know, from different brothers.
Yes.
That made it just stick a little. They had surely in there. Surely if you
for a surety that I like it.
But it said if you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. Right? Give up your life for the Lord, you'll save it, man. So you just gotta, you know, what are you giving up your life for? What are you sacrificing your life for? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you out here afraid because you getting ready to go do some folly, something goofy, right? And sacrifice your life for a cause, that you weren't called to sacrifice it by the Lord, then hell yeah, be afraid. Because you're going to lose it, right? And then they also talk about speak not of those who are slain in the way of Allah as dead, for they are alive.
But you perceive not.
But you perceive not. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are the conversations you got to have with your young men. But going back to what you were saying about seeing examples, we got stories, man. Some stories we got to take to the grave.
Yes.
Some stuff we can't talk about. But it's certain things that we have seen, man.
Yes.
Just as young soldiers and as FOY, that made me say, oh, so that's how that go. Okay. Okay, 10-4, right? You was afraid before, but I just saw Big Bro handle it like that. Okay. It's like, little loopholes and cheat codes that, this is the cookie cut way that things should be done. But hey, if you just, have faith as small as a mustard seed and apply that pressure, you can get it done like this.
Yes, sir.
I got one more thing before we go. I know we talked about, how men, young boys need examples. But also the young ladies need the male examples so they can pick the right males. To have their father legacy continue to go on.
For sure. Oh, we on the time. We got to get up out of here.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
He said before we go, my heart dropped.
No.
Oh, okay. No, that's and I feel like we need to have some women on here, to be able to have this conversation as well. Because I know it's only certain stuff that a man is only going to be able to give a man, and certain things a woman is going to be able to give a woman. That's just the reality. But we do need solid examples for our women to be able to choose from. Listen, this is the reality. The messenger said, you should be the envy of men, the desire of women, and every boy and girl should want you to be their father. You hear what I'm saying? That's the type of man that we're striving to be. It's inevitable that when you get on your post and when you handle your business and live to be the man that you know you should be, envy is going to come. You're going to have some people that's jealous. There is no getting away from that. You're trying to suck up and trying to make everybody feel comfortable around you being a soldier and being an upstanding man. That's not your job. You hear what I'm saying? To make them necessarily feel good and comfortable
about their selves.
Yeah, we're not here to pacify.
Yeah, because you elevating. That's not my job, brother. I love you, right? I'm not here to belittle you or speak down on you.
But why do people feel belittled?
Insecurity, man.
Yeah.
It's rooted in insecurity, man. And listen, and I was in the car, man, driving here, talking about how we got a lack of an understanding of what love is and what hate is. And sometimes we confuse hate for love and love for hate. You get what I'm saying? So boom. Hey, brother, you look good. I know I look good, nigga. I don't need you to tell me.
Woo!
I don't need you to tell me I look good, nigga. What, you trying to speak down on me? No, I genuinely feel, brother, you look good. And I felt that it was important for me to tell you that you look good. You feel what I'm saying? Or somebody could come through, this the hate. Like you see that little joint, the little underlying hate. Hey, man, I'm proud of you in that little business.
Yeah.
Little business. A little business, what?
A little function.
Right? But if you're not picking up on the little nuances of the underlying hate, you think he giving you a shout out. You feel like he looking out for you. You hear what I'm saying? And because we got this misconception of what love and hate is, somebody can genuinely be coming to an extend a helping hand.
Yes, sir.
Coming to extend a helping hand.
Yes,
and
sir.
you smack the hand, because you feel like it's hate. You get what I'm saying? But going back to the insecurities, man, like, especially in our community, if we talking about our community, bro, listen, I remember, man, I was at a balloon release, and it was something I peeped that kind of hurt my heart. It was this young boy that had walked up to me, and he said, because we got our suits and ties on, he was like, hey, y'all Christians? He was like, what'd he say? Y'all Christians? He said, you a minister, you a something. He thought I was, one of them ones, in the church. And I'm like, no, we're your brothers from the Nation of Islam. And then he said, can you pray for me? Can you pray for me right now? Right? And we couldn't do it at the moment. We was on post. Our eyes was open. We was out on the block. Afterwards, we would have. And then I said, brother, give us a moment, right? So we went on to somebody else that was actually a priest and asked them to pray, right? Boom. They prayed for him. He come up and, oh, I got you. Now, you could tell he was looking for something, right? He was searching for something. But he was dressed in a certain way that wasn't appealing. You get what I'm saying? Or presentable at the balloon release. So he go, now listen, you could tell insecurity was all over the young man, right? But he was looking for love and he was looking for some type of light and guidance. And in that moment, he thought a prayer would do it for him. He didn't know me from a grain of salt. You get what I'm saying? But he go over by his mom or his auntie. I don't know exactly who she was in relation to him. And she just go in on him. He go to give her a hug. She looking at him like, why the hell you dressed like this? Why the hell you come around looking like this? Looking dumb as hell, this, that, and the third. Your sister just died, this, that, and the third. And your ass want to be coming around looking dressed like this, looking dumb as hell, right? Tow him down. He already was insecure. She didn't know that he just asked us to come pray for him. You get what I'm saying? But he go back to her and she tear him down. Now, in her mind, she thinks she doing right.
I know, I experienced that.
You feel me? She thinks she doing right. Telling you to come presentable, but listen, you dealing with something. You get what I'm saying? And you want better. It's not like you trying to be less than, right? It's not like you intentionally came to disgrace, you feel me, the sister that lost her life. God damn it, you here with everybody else, right? But you looking for love and you looking for some guidance and you looking for some light. But in your household, regardless of the fact that her acknowledging the fact that you here with the family, she tear you down. Now, these are the type of households that we come from. You not shit. That's a reality. We experience that. You not shit. Damn, you ugly as hell. Damn, you dumb as hell. Look at your grades. Boy, you dumb as shit. You feel what I'm saying? These are conversations that's being had. Damn, you bummy as hell, boy. You feel what I'm saying? And we create this conditioning in this culture where we speak down on each other. Damn, your ass ain't graduate, boy. You feel what I'm saying? Damn, you feel what I'm saying? And you grow up because you was conditioned being told that you wasn't shit, believing that you not shit, right? So the slightest bit of a compliment or recognition feel like the biggest thing in the world.
In the world, baby.
You feel me?
It helps the mind.
The biggest thing in the world, right? So, and then you kind of on edge. Because you might have tried to, it's certain people that try to get dressed up and try to get cute and try to do better. And they don't know which way to go, but they trying. And when they try, they get shot down, right? When they try, they get torn down. So this shit is traumatizing, man. You feel what I'm saying?
And then you end up treating the people around you wrong.
Bro, it's a repetitive cycle.
Man, we need you on for a part 2. Man.
Yeah, like only reason why I understand it because I've been through it.
Yeah,
I just been through it. You know what I'm saying? So I see me doing things to people around me because it happened to me. And I luckily I'm becoming more self-aware of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting that
for sure.
Because I think we gotta see. And this is the thing about these type of episodes, man. We gotta make this a marathon. That's why we have Courtney on so much because it's like you said when two are gathered. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Courtney, man, man to God, man. Always be coming through dropping gems, man.
Show you do.
But when the brothers gather, man, in the God circle, and we put our minds together, man, so many gems is dropped, so much powerful knowledge, man. It's like a study group for real.
For sure.
It's beautiful, man. But y'all tune in next week for another episode. What's up?
I feel like we need to end with a prayer, bro.
Let's do it.
I feel like that was powerful. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got some in us with a prayer. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Attention prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises are due to Allah God, the Most High, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and Thee alone do we beseech for Thine aid. O Allah, guide us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed His favors, not the path of those upon whom His wrath has been brought down, and nor those who go astray. O Allah, God, we beseech Your help, and we ask for Your mercy, for we believe in You, and we trust in You for all that we need. And we are helpers in Your cause with Your apostles. So please grant to us success. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Breaking the Machine. Goalden Chyld. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap, baby.
The project's coming out, man. Tell us about the new project dropping, bro, on the 30th.
I'm excited. Radical. Like I said, short, concise, powerful. Featuring Keith Wallace, real powerful artist out of Miami, Florida. Speaking on a lot of the topics and the issues that we discussed today on the podcast in terms of our role and our responsibility as men in our community, right? You know, and what we got to do to step up to the plate to ensure that we personally take responsibility for making our communities a decent place to live. I don't want to talk too much on it, but it's real powerful. I'm excited. You know, it has created the space and is going to create the space for other artists and creatives to hop on each track and actually give their own rendition and freestyle, because each track is going to have an open verse, you know, just to create a community aspect of us being able to talk about these topics together. It will not be on streaming, okay? It will not be on streaming platforms. You have to purchase the project at goaldenchyld.com. That's GOALDENCHYLD.com. Purchase the project. Gotta support artists, man, that are doing all they can, to promote a narrative that's gonna further our community.
And when does it drop?
October 30th, next Saturday.
Let's do it. October 30th, man. Radical.
Hey,
Go
when
get
they
that.
see this, it's gonna be out.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, bet. You know.
You know.